It's adjusted. Actually, I have to move my whole chair over. Yeah. Sorry about this. Tweaker Reaker. Man, that is taking a long time to load back. Here we go. For those of you who don't know, my name is Ezekiel Schmidt. I am a symbolic artist, and I also do commissions of portraits of whatever you want. I live in the Pacific Northwest, and I guess I'll look for my stuff afterwards. If you like my work and want to see more of it, you can find it on EzekielSchmidtArt.com. The link is in the description. I also have an Instagram. I'm not posting there as much just because it's taking up too much of my time. So yeah, I'm gonna get started. The new time for the live streams is going to be 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time because I have a schedule change at my day job, and that forces me to have to change everything else around me. So, yep. Where's my... There is so much paint on my... I hope it doesn't keep on doing this. I'm going to make this a little bit more orange. Yep. More red than I wanted, but that's all right. A little bit. Oh, just... God damn it. A little bit of browns. Get kind of that oak color. That's what I'm looking for. Since it's top of the head, a little bit more yellow. Lately, I've been diving into learning a little bit more about Spinoza. I'm doing it like that. That was weird. Popped off the Wi-Fi. And I found his ideas very interesting. The dual aspect monism. I think it's very interesting to see that one specific thinker can have so much of an impact on later thinkers and or just people in general. Like today, I was learning about reading or listening to an audiobook on Spotify called Lacan, which is about the psychoanalyst Jacques Lacan, and he very interesting. I've only gotten to the first like little bit of it while I was on lunch, but a very interesting character. Um, the thing that I found fascinating is that he worked with people that also became it's like some of the big names in um, psychology, like Jung, I believe he knew him. It's just interesting to see how it seems to be groups of people that change the world, and they seem to usually know each other at the time. It's those people like they feed off each other like a feedback loop. One person discovers one thing and then they tell it to their friend and they go on to come up with their ideas of their own. And in even in different fields, they influence each other. But the thing that fascinates me is that how much of history is carried out by a few singular individuals that seem to not be trying to change the world. All they're trying to do is discover things for themselves or just do what they want to do. They're not trying to change science as we know it. They're just being people. And that ends up changing everything. They're not trying to necessarily revolutionize the world, but they end up doing it anyways. All they want to do is just pursue what gives them joy. Or what seems right to them. But in doing so, they influence millions of lives in hundreds of years. Like Spinoza was just someone that was mostly self taught and had a lot of ideas that he wanted to share. Or not even share, he just wanted to write them down. Because most of his work was not even published till after his death, published by his friends. He wasn't trained to gain notoriety. In fact, he even turned down, more correctly, like teaching positions at a prestigious place, just because he didn't want to have a. Yeah, they asked him to kind of curb back his ideas and his theories and just teach what they were teaching. But instead of going for good pay and notoriety, he wanted to stay true to himself. Ended up being one of the most influential philosophers of past 500 years. He influenced Hegel. Who else? Lacan, I believe, as well, because Hegel influenced Lacan. I can't remember the list. It was a long list, and I'm not good at lists. That's not how my brain typically seems to. It's not the information it seems to absorb. But just because he was just trying to do his own thing and just trying to figure out the world, and he was intensely curious, he changed the world. And how many of us are like that? We don't know who we're going to influence, how we're going to affect other people's lives, but we do. Like, if it wasn't for Spinoza's friends who were a little bit more rejective of the orthodoxy, he might not have become the person that he did. He might not have thought for himself. And we wouldn't have all that great philosophy. If it wasn't for his friends that published his work, we might not have any of it. So you never know who you're going to influence. You might think that what you're doing is pointless or not worth anything. But the person that you influence might change the world. That might not be about you. But if it isn't for you, someone might not change. They might not have a new perspective. They might not have the encounter that they need to in order to bring about something new to the universe. I find that very comforting. Because it is change, as much as it seems to be by a few select people. Change is affected by all of us. Because it takes the whole in order to affect the part, and the part to affect the whole. You might think that you're not doing much, or what you're doing is not valuable. But it is. Everything changes the world by just one small degree. Sometimes that 1 degree is the tipping point. And that's all it's needed. I'd say don't worry about what you're gonna do, or if you're if you're like me and you have a little bit of anxiety of like, what is your purpose? Just do whatever. You'll fulfill it anyways. You're just one small part of a giant fractal. And regardless of whether you try or not, you're gonna change the world. And there is no for better, for worse. There's only change. Just cycles of change. Like a blood cell doesn't think about, oh, what's my purpose? What's my destiny? It's just doing what it's doing. Does it have like a higher consciousness? I don't know. I don't think so. But it's not preoccupied with some grandiose sense of fulfillment. It's just doing what comes natural. And I think that is what really leads to fulfillment. Do what comes natural to you. What feels natural to you. And you'll end up changing the world in amazing ways. No. And if you want to support the channel, check out the website. I'll see y'all later.